Hello and welcome to Algebra 2, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you found the video all right. The main point of this first video, the first homework video, or lesson video, is to make sure you can access the videos well. You can tell me if you have any troubles getting to them, and just to give you a general feel for what to expect as we go into the classes here. Now, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Obviously, this is Algebra 2. We're going to talk about a flipped classroom this time, and we're going to talk about concept checks and homework and quizzes and tests, so you have a little idea of what to expect in the course this year. As I go through videos now, you may see some drop-down menus as I change colors for my pen. I could write in green, I could write in purple, and I'll use different colors and different shapes. So if you see the drop-downs, please don't be distracted. We're just going to use those to help highlight things in the presentation. So a flipped classroom, let's talk about what this is. Well, first, as sophomores or juniors, you guys have spent most, if not all, of your time in a traditional classroom. A traditional classroom has the teacher at the board presenting material and the students in their seats observing and taking notes and trying to understand. And in a flipped classroom, the new material is presented through videos at home instead of during class time. Now, I'm not going to say that the traditional classroom has no place. I think it's still very valuable. I'll teach other classes aside from Algebra 2 in a traditional classroom setting, but I think that this Algebra 2 class lends itself well to a flipped classroom, and we'll talk about some of the advantages that you get from doing a flipped classroom, from watching the lessons at home instead of in class. Now, one of the things that we always need to ask ourselves when we try something new is, are we trying something new just because it's new? Or is there a reason that makes it better or potentially better to do it this new way? So why are we going to change things up? Let's talk about why we are changing things up. Let's take a look at this picture really quick. I like analogies, and visual analogies are really good. The guy in the beret here is looking at this pile of logs, and he sees 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Pretty obvious. There's 4 logs sitting right here. But he seems to be in an argument with this guy over here wearing, I don't know if he's got a hat on or not. This guy over here says there's only 3. Well, if we only look at it from the beret man's perspective, there are in fact 4 logs. There's really no argument about it. But when we look at this a little differently, from this guy's perspective, he's saying there's 3. Let's figure out why. Well, 1, 2, 3. From where he stands, there's only 3 logs. Obviously, this slide is a visual illusion. There's a little bit of optical trickery happening, but it highlights a great point that, we need to look at things from different perspectives, and sometimes you might see things a little differently if we look at them through somebody else's shoes. So while we go into this course, it is going to be different than what you've done in the past, but there are definitely going to be benefits to it, and just keep an open mind as we go through it. And we'll work out some of the fuzzies together. We'll figure out the best way to do things together. And if you give me good feedback, then I'll make sure that you guys are learning well as well. All right. Let's talk about some resources that you're going to have available to you as we go through this course. Obviously, you're going to have me, your teacher. I'll be here for you. I'll meet with you before school or after school. I'll talk with you during class, outside class. You can email me. Whenever you have a question, contact me in whatever way is most convenient to you at the time. If you're at school, stop by during my office hours. Stop by before school. Stop by after. If you need to sit down and go over stuff outside of class for extra help, seek me out. I'll make a time with you. We'll schedule something. I'll be at school most days a little bit after the bell rings anyways, so you can stop by if you have a question. If I'm there, I'll help you out. If you want to make a time, schedule a time, and I'll be there for sure. You're also going to have an online book. We'll go over all those resources and how to access them in class a little more. The online book has a ton of resources available to you. You also have Khan Academy. Now, some of these down here, Khan Academy and YouTube, they're a little bit not fashioned exactly for this course, but there's a ton of great value in them. Khan Academy is going to be some similar videos to what you're watching to the ones that I'm making. YouTube, there's a ton of videos out there for all kinds of great intelligent things, not just cats fitting into small boxes and people jumping off of buildings and landing funny. but there are also a lot of educational uses that YouTube is being used for. So if you take a little time to search it for those things about the subjects that you're trying to learn, they're out there as well. And of course, you're going to have each other. You're going to have fellow classmates. You're going to have friends who've already taken the course or are taking the course right now. And you guys can, most of the time, help each other out better than any of these other resources because you are looking at it through the same eyes. And you'll be able to figure things out by talking through things. So those are some of the resources that you have. Concept checks. Well, in a traditional classroom, again, you're going to have the lecture and lesson during the day, and you'll have homework at night. Well, in the flipped classroom, we're going to do everything a little backwards. You're going to watch lessons for homework. At home, you'll watch the videos, and then at the end of each of these videos, you're just going to have 1 or 2 problems to do, and we'll call those concept checks. So you could take the lesson and try it out on a couple of problems to make sure you're getting an understanding of what's happening. Now, we don't expect you to have the topic mastered at the end of watching a 10-minute video. That's a little unrealistic. But you should be able to work through a couple of the concept problems and really have a good understanding of what your questions are so that in the next day when you come into class, you can ask those questions to the teacher or to your friends or to others. Now, homework. What we consider traditional homework, about 20 to 30 problems, should take you between about 30 minutes target time for your math homework. We're actually going to do those problems in class. Now the benefit here is you spend the time at home watching the video, getting the new material, the new lesson, how to do it. You do a couple of concept check questions, you identify all your issues, and then when you come to class the next day, instead of being at home by yourself and confused trying to work through a problem, you'll have the teacher, myself, I'll be there. You'll have your fellow classmates right next to you. So if you try to call them on the phone at home, sometimes they're not there. Or maybe you've got other things to do. You got to go play soccer or basketball, and you don't have time to actually get with your friends to work through problems. We're giving you that time in class now, and you can work in groups together on your homework, or your classwork as it is. You could work individually, and inevitably there's going to be those individuals that sometimes you're going to really understand a lesson well. You're not going to need as much time. So if that happens, you could sit down with your friends and with those that don't have it completely understood yet and that may be struggling with the concept. You could help explain it to them and help them work through to get a better understanding. If you're completely lost, I'm going to be in class. I'll sit down with whoever's completely lost or is really struggling and not understanding this concept, and I'll work one-on-one or in very small groups to make sure you understand what's happening. And at the end of the class period, the goal is that you have new material presented to you in a video at home, and you've had the opportunity to work through that new material in class with more time spent interacting with each other and the teacher on solving the problems and less time spent trying to write down notes and copy notes and listen to a lecture. That's the benefit of the flipped classroom that I'm going to try to bring out to its fullest potential so that you guys have an opportunity to see what is happening in the problems and put it into practice with guidance. All right, let's talk a little about your favorite subject, quizzes and tests. So generally we're going to have 2 assessments per chapter. It'll normally be a quiz followed by a chapter test, and we're going to give it to all students on the same day. Any new material that we've learned will be free response, which means you get an opportunity for partial credit. Any review material that we're covering on the test or assessment is going to be multiple choice. So if we're taking the Chapter 3 test, then you'll have Chapter 3 material free response. Everything from Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 will be multiple choice, and this will help you do kind of a running review to get ready for the midterm and final. Your midterm and finals will be multiple choice and no partial credit on those. So I want to make sure you have plenty of opportunity to practice and prepare for those. So that brings us to your first concept check. Your couple of questions or couple of tasks for this evening. Number 1, make sure you have a good email account linked to Edline. I need to have a way to contact you via email. You need to have it where it's readily accessible. You check it. I'm not going to require that you check it every night, every 5 minutes, but I need to have a good way to contact you. You need to have a good way to contact me, and it needs to be linked into your Edline account as well. And your other assignment, tomorrow when you come to class, I need you to bring a 3x5-ish size name tag you can mount or you can set on top of your desk that I can read from the front of the classroom. You could color it, design it, kind of open, just about 3 by 5 with your name on it so I can learn your names. Now if you guys look at your watch, we just passed over about 10 minutes, and that's my target goal for all these videos, is about 10 minutes, so that at the end of the day you're spending about maybe 30 minutes total on watching the videos, rewatching them if you need to, writing your questions down, and knocking out the concept check. If I take 10 minutes of your time in a video, you should have plenty of time to do the other parts. So I look forward to the year, and if you guys have any questions or comments, bring them into class tomorrow.